Good evening.
Good
And
evening.
thank you all for showing up. We didn't know whether we were going to have 5 or 10 or 15, and we have seats for 100, so this is really exciting. My name is John Nugent. I'm president of FMCA because a year ago in a board meeting I had to leave the room and raise my hand. But no, it's my honor to be here. I want to thank Trey for this PowerPoint presentation, which I haven't given in like 15 years, so bear with me. But and also the board that's sitting up front here for all the hours of dedication to, you can't hear back there?
No, you need to speak closer to the mic.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So, I won't repeat what I said. Anyway, welcome here. I'm glad everyone is here. And thanks to Trey for the PowerPoint and for the board for all the hours put in to the 5-year plan and the decision on the assessment. My objective tonight is to lay out the details of the 5-year plan so you see what it is we're trying to do, and then to lay out the assessment and how we're going to use the money that we will be collecting. It almost goes without saying, but all of you who've been involved in long-range plans know that there are changes, okay? So we will continuously update the community by board meetings and by Fairway News, or by Muse News, about what's going on. But you will understand clearly the thrust of the 5-year plan and how the funding is being used when you leave tonight. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, here's how we got to the 5-year plan. And the reason I'd like to spend some time on this is because this was a very business-like process. We went through a very detailed process in order to come up with the 5-year plan, and it began with a strategic plan, which started back in January of 2022. There were members from every single association on this committee, a total of 11 members. We met every single month throughout 2022. We did market research to define our residents, to understand how many live here year-round, how many are retired, what activities, to develop a profile of our residents, because you can't have a plan to satisfy needs unless you understand your customer. We developed the first mission, vision, and statement of values. Now these have been published the last couple of months in the, or 2 out of the last 4 months in Muse News. So, but that mission, vision, and statement of values are very important to the board. Then we did what in business is known as a SWOT analysis. We analyzed the strengths of Fairway Muse, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. We spent about 3 months going through this SWOT analysis. That resulted in 8 objectives and 27 strategies. Now, they were sent out almost exactly a year ago to all the residents. Trey sent them out in an email so that everyone would know what it is we were trying to do. That resulted in 13 projects which were designed for implementation over 3 years, and then reality set in that we didn't have the money, we didn't have the staff, etc., so we've stretched these projects over 5 years. So that's what I'm going to be taking you through. But the point I want to make from this is that it was a deliberate business process going back to the beginning of 2022 that has resulted in what you will see tonight. I guess the last point on this is that this board decided, I've been asked, you know, John, you have so many projects. Why don't you just tackle 1 or 2 at a time? I said, no, we are not going to kick the can down the road. We're going to define the key projects. We'll do it over 5 years. You'll see one project that's going to go probably 8 or 9 years, okay? But we're going to define the projects, do it up front, and do it right and plan it. Okay, the next please. Okay, here are the key projects. And I'm listing them by benefits with the focus, the second line there. The key benefit to you is going to be enhanced quality of life, and is also going to be increased value of homes. That has been the two key objectives that we've been focused on going forward. The key benefits, there are three key blocks: safety and security, landscaping beautification, quality of life, and then some must-dos. Okay, now I'll take you through them. First of all, in safety, security, entrance gates. You've heard discussions, and there will be a meeting like this next month regarding our front gate. We have 6 entrances, as you know, the front, back, and 4 emergency entrances. We have no cameras in any area. We spend almost $250,000 a year to allow visitors to come in. That's the cost for the guards we have out front. So what we've been doing is meeting with electronic entrance systems, the companies that have electronic entrance systems, and we'll have a meeting about it, but it will end up saving us about $150,000 a year. 2 points I want to make. We can take that money, use it to enhance security at the back gate, and eventually at the other 4 gates, if the board decides to do that. But there are 2 points. One, there will be no change in how residents enter Fairway Mews. I say again, no change in how residents enter the Mews. Number 2, if you allow people or visitors to come in by calling a number, and then when the person pulls up, the person says, my name is X, they've called ahead. That's the way one of the options is. It's just that the visitor will hit a screen instead of talking to a human. The screen, there will be a person who will say, who are you? I'm X, I'm here to see Y. He'll check the list that you called in on and come right in. The gate goes up. So this is simple. There'll be a whole meeting in December about it. But entrance gates to enhance the security by allowing us to improve the other gate entrances is a key project. Road junctions. Linden and Locust and Linden and Dogwood will be broadened, will be widened. I don't want to say I get a kick out of it, but it's amazing the dance that's done by the cars as they come up to those junctions, allowing one to turn and then they move ahead. Okay, so we're going to widen those. Looking at landscaping beautification, number 12, number 14, greens. Now I've had some people say, I don't play golf. Why should I spend money for, to play golf, for you to spend on golf? Well, here are a couple of answers. About 8% of the US population plays golf. We have almost 50% of the population here that plays golf. And if you include family members, etc., that come to visit on weekends, it gets into the 60%. So golf is important to most of the residents here. Number one. Number 2, we're called Fairway Mews, okay? Not bowling alley mews, okay? And if you talk to realtors after location, golf is important to the value of the homes here. So we will continue to make sure that this will also enhance, those who live around the number 12 and 14 greens know we can enhance the beauty of those surrounding areas as well. Entrance in number 10 pounds. I don't know a place in the world that 20 yards from the entrance, there's a sanitation lift station. My gosh, okay. And our number 10, and the number 10 hole ponds to the right really need to be fixed up. The dilemma, and the reason we have a budget increase listed under this, is it's gonna cost us $10,000 to $15,000 to find out how much we have to spend on the number 10 ponds, the 2 ponds, because we're linked up with Rec Pond. This goes all the way through to Rec Pond, EPA, XYZ, ABC, federal regulations. And so we wanna, when you open our front door, we want beauty. But in order, we need to spend money in order to figure out how much we need to spend. Okay, on quality of life, road repair. The first roads went in 50 years ago. Okay, we're gonna start repaving during this 5-year period. And I'll show you a rough timetable on the next chart. Start repaving and to include curbs where necessary. Okay, and that'll be an expense that comes out of this. Racket sports, this is pickleball and tennis. Our board meetings are 50% shorter since I appointed an ad hoc committee to go look at this, okay? We're figuring out the best way. Pickleball is exploding. We have tennis courts that have been covered 8 or 9 years ago, and the issue is, are they the best? They can't accommodate both, so this committee is looking to see what the final best opportunity is. Our website, eventually we want to modernize it and create a private portal in case you want to have minutes, etc. So there'd be the public website and then a private website. The must-dos are office storage building repairs. That building where Trey and our staff is 50 years old. We just spent emergency funds because there's black mold in the bathroom where the break room is for our staff. You know, I learned early on, take care of the people who take care of you, okay? So we need to have a good place for our staff to gather, to have lunch, whatever, okay? And Trey's office, as I said, is 50 years old. There's one nice crack right over the door. I don't know whether he leaves it there deliberately or what. But we need to fix the office storage building. Office automation. Kathy Nealon has led a great task force that starting in February, we're automating a lot of the inside the office. And if you would like automatic monthly payments and easy to track work orders, listen to what Kathy Nealon will be saying in February, okay? That costs money, obviously, to do that. Equipment replacement. We have one piece of equipment, a mower, 35 years old, another 27, another 25. We have to have a scheduled replacement of our equipment. We just had a crisis with a snow blower, so we're on a wait list, a snow blower, a leaf remover, a leaf blower. So we ordered it, but we have to wait like weeks. Okay, we don't have a promise to delivery date. So we're borrowing one from across the street, okay? That's not the way we need to operate. We need a planned equipment replacement. And then a reserve level increase, and I will detail that on the next two slides from now. But the reserve level, the top line, the good news is we have a 52% increase this year. We're up to 500,000. We should be at 1.5 million. Okay, we have a plan to get there. The total cost, individual projects, 435,000. Road repairs, 500,000. Reserve increase, 503,000. And landscaping, 200,000 for 1,638,000. Okay, how are we funding it? Next one, please, Trey. Thank you. All right, as announced at the last board meeting, there will be a $3,000 assessment over 3 years, which is $250 a quarter. But we were asked for clarification. Someone's selling a place. It's January 1, 2024. The assessment is effective, okay? So just, we don't want to lose anyone, but Jan 124, the assessment's effective. Starting then, it's $250 a quarter for 3 years. The first payment, however, is not due until the end of March 31st, 2024. Reason why we want to give everyone a chance to plan. And the next point here is the 10%, we have a 10% early payment discount. So if you pay $2,700 by or on March 31, you get the 10% discount. For those who can afford it, I would appreciate getting the 10% discount. And the reason is it gives us the ability to hire some engineers, to do feasibility studies, to accelerate a timetable that I will lay out for you. But it gives us money up front to be able to do the things we're going to do. So if you can, that would be appreciated. So how this works out is the assessment income of $3,000 times 560 units is $1,680,000. We're assuming 25% of units will take the early discount. We could be high, low, we don't know. That's 42,000 lost revenue, if you will. These 4 numbers here are from the prior page. They're the costs of the project, the landscaping, road repair, and reserve increase. Okay, the last page, and then we'll take questions. The last page is how does this flow? How does your income come in, and how does it flow? So the top line here shows the $1,638,000 from the prior page. It comes in, we're estimating $798,000 in 2024, $420,000 in 25 and 26. Okay, how are the expenses flowing out? How are you working that? The expenses we're estimating is $295,000 in 24, $390,000, $310,000, $333, as you see. So let's look at the projects. What are the priority we've given? We tried to do it on a cost-benefit basis. What benefits the most people, okay, at what cost, okay? And it can change, okay, and this can change. Please understand, just because it's a living document. And when we do the feasibility studies, the engineering studies, there could be changes. We will report them in board meetings. We'll report them in news as changes occur. But on projects, for this $155,000 in 2024, the going in planning is the front gate and back gate, repair of the office and storage building, office automation, number 12 green, and equipment replacement. Those are the priorities established so far. In 2025, there will be 2. The road junctions, there'll be 3. The road junctions, racquetball, whatever the committee, you should report in December. Okay, is my understanding is where the racket sports committee will have a report in December. 2025, the junctions, the racquetball courts, and equipment replacement. 2026 will be the number 10 ponds and entrance landscaping. Would love to do that sooner, okay, but we've got to do the EPA studies, we've got to do the engineering studies before we can lock that in. The number 14 green and equipment replacement. So those are the key projects, the key spending of the 435 by year. Landscaping, the 200,000, the focus will be trees. Nevin Maloro and her team just finished an analysis of all the trees here in the views. There are 35 that have to come down eventually. They need to be replaced. There are a bunch that need to be pruned. There are a bunch that need to be fed, okay? And that's part of the beauty of what we have here. We're a heavily treed community, but we gotta take care of it. So trees, we have a lot of brown spots bare spots in this area. We need to fix them. Our hedges that surround us, we need to replace some of those. And importantly, the ponds, we have to fix those. I've been told we need to dredge between the number 10 hole and number 14 hole. There's a canal there. We need to dredge that. So again, there's a lot of basic kind of work that needs to be done for the landscaping. Road repair, as you see there, doesn't start really until 2026. And the reason is, number one is there's no real crisis that I'm aware of right now that we're aware of. Number two, we need to get an engineer company in here to develop a plan. How is this going to be spread? When we did our capital reserve study, which we did earlier this year, the total cost was estimated at $2 million to do every single road. Well, we'll do that over 10 years, okay? But we'll start with the priority needs, which are the roads on our east side are the ones that were the earliest. So probably start there, but we need an engineering firm to come in and tell us how to repair our roads. And then the last point here is the reserves. $100,000 a year will go into our reserves, so that you'll see at the bottom our total reserves on December 31st, 2028 will be $1,500,000. 500 from what we have right now at the end of this year, 500 from the assessment, and each budget, each year, will have 100,000 going to the reserve. So we will end up with $1.5 million reserves in case of any eventualities that come down the road and will satisfy the reserve study that was done earlier this year. So that's the complete story, if you will, on the 5-year plan. What are the key projects? Where are we getting the money from? How we're going to spend it by major break, and how it flows throughout the year. I would like to thank the board, because I'm a little worried about their IQ because they assess themselves $3,000, okay? But we're all volunteers. There's a lot of work that went into this, and so I thank the board for all the dedication. All right, okay, let's turn on the lights and have questions.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Whoever has a question, can you just step up to the microphone, please, so I can hear it on the video recording for everybody that's on here. Thank you.
Okay.
Two questions. As far as the pond goes by tenfold, can everyone hear me? Oh, okay.
Number 10 pond is the issue.
Okay, so I know it's gonna involve the EPA and rec pond and all of that, but in the meantime, are you gonna cut down the pumps and the green and all of that around it? That's what makes it ugly looking.
Okay, let me give you two answers. We did that on the side near you. We were chastised by, who's the person, Blue Pond?
Great Blue?
Green?
Great Blue.
Great, the person who controls the pond. We need growth on the banks.
I know that, but.
So otherwise the banks will collapse. There could be something else we can put in place of those pumps, okay?
Right.
Which I know you don't like.
No, it's just that